Hi guys, Velian here from Velian Speaks Tech. This time I'm going to finally compare the One UI 3.0 latest beta running on my Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus versus the very latest Oxygen OS Open Beta 4 running on my OnePlus 8 Pro. My viewers were asking me to do a comparison performance, which I did, and now they're asking me to compare what happens when you open a folder, what is the animation, what happens when you open an application into the landscape, into the vertical mode on the Samsung, and also here on the OnePlus. And I also put here an iPhone 11, sorry, on the table, because a lot of people were saying, yeah, you know, it's good. One UI 3.0 is becoming very, very good. It's still not like the iPhone. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna take this iPhone here, put it on the table, and I'm just gonna do a series of checks on all of these phones now, primarily here on the Samsung and also on the OnePlus, but we're also gonna be doing this on the iPhone just to see what is the animation like. Is this better really here on the One UI 3 or better on the iOS or better here on the Oxygen OS? So the first thing I want to do really is open a plain folder. So we have a folder here on both phones, opening here, okay, see, very nice, subtle animation. A lot of people were complaining that when you do like this, the background is not blurred. Now I think it is blurred, right? So when you open a folder, you kind of get this very nice blurred here on the Samsung, on the One UI. Let's do this also on the iPhone, see? Same. I think same behavior. Probably we can do it together. Okay. See, I think they really have the same behavior, and yes, people can really say, okay, it looks like the iOS. Let's do it here also on the OnePlus. All right, you see, OnePlus very different. Okay. If I open here a folder on the Samsung and a folder on the iPhone, we'll say that these two really are very equal. But when we do this here on the Oxygen OS, it's really a little bit different, and this is why I'm not accepting that apparently the latest Oxygen OS 11 is created to imitate the Samsung One UI. That's simply not the case. The Oxygen OS really has a different take on the things. It's really very fast, very smooth, and even very plain. And one thing I like really is every time here you open a folder, you see the folder name goes here. When you do this on the OnePlus, it's always like, you know, reachable to your finger. So let's see, if you want to kind of like rename the folder for one-handed operation, it's always very easy to do this on the OnePlus, not so much here. Okay, let's open some more folders. So let's open one more time a folder here and a folder on the OnePlus, and let's see also the closing animation. Okay, this was it. Then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna open some applications, Play Store here, and the App Store here. So opening an application on the One UI looks like this, closing it looks like this, right? You see how the icon is moving? It is very, very smooth. Let's do this also on the iPhone here. Again, you see, one might say that it's kind of almost the same. By the way, when we close the application here, you know, the whole background zooms out, kind of like, I like really the animation on the iOS, probably it's the best one. So here you see, same effect when you open it, but when we close it, kind of the background is the same, so no zoom out effect. When we open the application here, the background zooms out when you close it. Let's open the Play Store here, again, Oxygen OS, again, very fast, you know, very subtle animation. When we close it, you see, right, it looks a little bit like even less flashy than on the One UI and then on the iPhone, but it is very quick indeed. So opening it here, you see animation on, animation off, animation on here as well on the iPhone, okay, and then animation out. The out animation here is better, so the closing application animation apparently is better. Here there is almost none, like everything collapses down back to the icon. And actually you can see on Android, right, on Oxygen OS 11, you know, and also on the One UI, all the time, you know, you do like this, kind of like the background stays the same, you know, there is no kind of like effect on the background. And here you see, it's like this. Let's open another one, just make sure that it's like this. Okay, every time we do open something on the iPhone, the whole wallpaper zooms out. I think this here is a clear winner in terms of aesthetics. Okay, now let's do another thing that people really demand. Let's turn the phone like upside down. Okay, and what we want to do is, okay, this one supports the landscape mode. If we do it here on the iPhone, apparently nothing is supported. And what happens if we do it also on the OnePlus? Nothing is supported. I want to make sure that I have the auto rotate. So you see, this is really like a huge advantage, right? Because you can apparently use the Samsung in that mode, and this one you cannot do on the other phone. So let's see what happens if we open the same application here in the landscape mode. It's like this. Okay, and you see, I really like the way now the application collapses. So let's open Chrome. Okay, opening like this, fine. And when we close it, everything collapses down back to the icon. Now I have the three phones running into landscape mode, and we can see here that only the Samsung has the ability to turn also the home screen in a landscape mode. Now I'm placing them on the screen, and we have actually opened here Chrome, right? We opened here Chrome as well, and here we open the Safari. Let's now try to kind of go out, right? So we see here again a very fancy collapsing animation, and then again this zoom out effect on the wallpaper. Let's see what happens here. Okay, on the One UI 3, again, we have like the zoom in effect, but only on the icons. So kind of like the background or the wallpaper remains the same. And what happens here on the Oxygen OS Open Beta 4? Okay, it's pretty much the same. So let's try to go again into the landscape mode. Let's try to go outside. Yeah, I'm not sure if I even managed to go outside. Let me just do it again. Yeah, honestly, doesn't really work, or at least I'm not able to trigger it in the best way here. Okay, but let's do some more tests. So I'm just gonna take the Samsung, guys, and we wanna see right now what happens when we collapse kind of like the settings screen, okay? Settings screen is very important. I'm just gonna put also the iPhone here that we can see what happens. So I just take my finger, okay, and boom, now we have all the nice quick settings here. One more swipe down and we can access all the icons, okay? Really runs quite well, it's quite optimized. The effect here, by the way, when you do this, you see every time you start doing this, it blurs the background. Okay, let's see what happens here on the Oxygen OS. No blurring on the background whatsoever. I think only dimming can be seen, so the background becomes dimmer, we see, like darkened. But okay, it has also some advantages. It is very, very quick. Now, when you're already here, I think it's quite the same. Now you can go and you can swipe up like this. Now again, I like the One UI 3 version better because with swiping down, you get like full control and full menu of all the quick settings. Here it's not the case, right? Here you have to go right and left, so you cannot really extend them more. And let's see what happens on the iPhone. The animations on the iPhone, every time you do this, it's really very fluid. And they put always like this bouncing effect, you see? It is really very nice. You see, bouncing effect. I like this quite too much. See, no bouncing effect, by the way, here, you see, some animations, some dimming on the background, or let's say some blurring on the background, but no bouncing effect like what we have here on the iPhone. That's probably the reason why the people always are saying that the animations here are really very, very nice. Another thing you want to check is the volume rocker. So, when you press down here on the One UI 3.0 and you click, now you can control it. You click the three dots, you have an access to the volume rocker. When you press volume down here, you have it on the left side, and then you press here, pretty much, very subtle. Now again, this one here looks a little bit more like the one on the iPhone, but is this the case? Let's see. When we press the volume rocker on the iPhone, you see, wow. Okay, iPhone, really iOS, probably winner of all the animation. You see how nice and subtle. One time press, goes bigger and goes again. Animation in, animation out. One time press, animation in, animation out. One time press and then start to manipulate it, it just scales down. And again, not the case here, so let's do it on the Samsung phone. One press like this, okay, goes in, wait, goes out, goes in, goes out, okay. And when you try to manipulate it, it's just the same bar. What happens here on the Oxygen? Okay, you press, go in, wait, go out. Same here, go in, okay, go out. I would say this is really like the most user-friendly animation. I know people probably are gonna hate on this command. I'm also not a very big fan of iOS, but I can tell you guys, the animations here really are very fluid and really are thought in a way to be very user-friendly for someone using the phone, and even not obstructing, the area that you use on the display. So I like this very much. I want to see the task manager, so let's just take the Samsung right now, hold my finger like this. We have the touch manager. Okay, do the same here on the Oxygen OS. Okay, pretty much the same animation. So you see, we have all the cards like this, very quick, right? But there is this thing on the One UI 3.0, you can see it is like a little bit like a 3D. Right now here on the Oxygen OS, they're flat, and this is how it used to be, I think, on the One UI 2.0. Let's see what happens here on the iPhone. Okay, iPhone, I think this reminds me of some of the old task managers we had, probably in Android KitKat, whatever, I'm not sure. Yeah, I probably prefer this one as the best option, but you see animations on the iPhone. You can sometimes see the stutter because it's only 60 Hz, right? But you see, still it's quite okay. There is no clear winner. When you close here the applications on the Samsung, they just go up. When you close them on the Oxygen, they just go up again. Here you don't have an option to like force close them. Everything, like, you just need to swipe down like a crazy person with your finger. Honestly guys, I do believe that all of these three phones really can offer like a separate or different experience. So if you want to go crazy for animations, and maybe you can go for One UI or iOS. If you want to go crazy for speed, then maybe just stay here. You see, I'm really impressed. The way this looks like, really, a lot of people are not happy with this, but the way the folders are opening here, it's very subtle, very minimalistic, and for me, it does the job, all right? So this gets the job done. I really hope, guys, that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have more questions to ask, like more comparison, then yeah, just hit me up in the comments. I did not go into the settings because I already did this when I did some other comparisons, so right now I just wanted to focus on the user interface and the main animations, and I do really hope that you will find this video. And again, subscribe to my channel, like the video, hit me up in the comments, hit me up in my Telegram channel, and yeah, we're gonna catch up on the next video. And with that said, VST over and bye.